to the Surface Ocean Lower Atmosphere Study, a global research program dedicated to studying the interactions between the atmosphere and the ocean within the global context. This background presentation is narrated by myself, L.Miller, the chair of the SOLAS Scientific Steering Committee, and Jessica Geer, the SOLAS Executive Director. The mission of SOLAS is to quantify the interactions between the atmosphere and the ocean. That is, the physical, chemical, and biological processes linking these two systems. And also to better understand the feedbacks between this coupled air-sea system and climate and global change.
SOLAS research is coordinated and communicated by an international project office, IPO, currently located at the Geoengineering Center for Ocean Research Kiel in Germany and the NADIO office in Xiamen, China. From 2021 on, SOLAS will have a dual IPO with an IPO Ireland at the National University of Ireland in Galway, where the executive director will be based, and an IPO China at the State Key Laboratory of Marine Environmental Sciences in Xiamen, China. The IPO Ireland will be linked to an international SOLAS master program. SOLAS has 4 international sponsors: SCORE, which is the Scientific Committee on Oceanic Research, Future Earth, the World Climate Research Program, and the International Commission on Atmospheric Chemistry and Global Pollution, ICACGP. You can see their logos at the bottom of the slide. The current IPO funders are Geoengineering. The International SOLAS Scientific Steering Committee is responsible for providing scientific guidance to and overseeing the development, planning, and implementation of the SOLAS project. It currently consists of 17 members from 14 different countries. Our current chair is L.Miller from Canada. SOLAS also has several early career researchers on its SSC that you can see highlighted in blue. SOLAS also has an executive committee with SSC members from Canada, South Africa, and Japan. On this slide, you can see the SOLAS National Network. The 17 international SOLAS Steering Committee members, SSC, are highlighted in yellow. The SSC is supported by a broad national research network with SOLAS national representatives in 30 different countries that are highlighted in blue. In red, you can see the locations of the International Project Office.
The SOLAS Scientific Program is organized around 5 intimately connected core themes. Theme 1 is focused on greenhouse gases in the oceans and encompasses all processes in the ocean that impact atmospheric concentrations of greenhouse gases. This includes not only carbon dioxide, but also nitrous oxide and methane, and potentially also anthropogenic greenhouse gases such as SF6 and chlorofluorocarbons. Theme 2 is about the air-sea interface and fluxes of mass and energy. This is really the heart of SOLAS, focusing on the actual physical chemistry of the interface between the ocean and the atmosphere, as well as the atmospheric and oceanic boundary layers. The ultimate goal of this theme is to quantify the transfer of energy, gases, and particles across the air-sea interface and how it varies with conditions. Theme 3 on atmospheric deposition and ocean biogeochemistry is all about how material in the atmosphere impacts surface ocean ecosystems. This includes the input of atmospheric nutrients such as nitrogen compounds and iron dust, and also anthropogenic pollutants from both coastal and inland activities, as well as ship emissions and their regulation. Recent work by SOLAS scientists in a number of countries around the world have confirmed that the difference between nutrients and pollutants is often a matter of degree, and some anthropogenic contaminants can also fertilize some parts of the ecosystem. Theme 4 is about the interconnections between aerosols, clouds, and marine ecosystems. This theme is focused on how the marine system impacts mixed phase atmospheric chemistry. That is the production of marine aerosols and their influence on cloud formation, and then the feedback of marine ecosystems through light availability. This is the home of the claw hypothesis and the dimethyl sulfide story. However, it also includes the production and reactivity of sea salt, organic, and biological aerosols. Theme 5 on ocean biogeochemical controls on atmospheric chemistry also includes some aerosol chemistry, but is primarily focused on gas phase atmospheric chemistry. In particular, how marine halogens and volatile organics control atmospheric oxidation and cleansing capacity. Of course, none of these core themes operate in isolation, but rather they are all intimately interrelated with each other, and only very specific laboratory or numerical experiments could ever study only one of these themes in isolation. SOLAS has identified a number of particularly important cross-cutting themes on which we're focusing that integrate all 5 of the core themes. We have several integrated topics on vulnerable or particularly important systems such as upwelling zones, the polar oceans, and we're currently spinning up an initiative on the Indian Ocean. We also have an initiative evaluating the environmental efficacy and impacts of climate intervention, that is geoengineering proposals. We have an initiative on SOLAS Science and Society that looks at how air-sea interaction science can contribute to policy development, and also how policy and human activities impact the coupled air-sea system. We have a particularly active program on the impacts of ship plume emissions on ocean biogeochemistry, but we're also investigating the significance of the air-sea interaction processes on blue carbon and open ocean stewardship questions. Thanks to the strong relationship between SOLAS and a number of our sister organizations, we've been able to develop several very effective joint activities through which we forward much of our scientific program. We have 2 carbon working groups that are important components of our core theme 1 on greenhouse gases. The SOLAS IMBER Ocean Acidification Working Group serves as the scientific advisory committee for the Ocean Acidification International Coordination Center at Monaco. A new initiative spinning up is the Integrated Ocean Carbon Research Working Group, which is in collaboration with IMBER, IOCCP, the Global Carbon Project, CLIVAR, and the International Oceanographic Commission, along with SOLAS. This working group is intended to be a complement to IOCCP, which focuses mainly on measurements and methodologies. And the IOCR is meant to focus more on scientific results and outputs. Much of the SOLAS program on polar oceans is executed through 2 working groups that are jointly sponsored by the Climate and Cryosphere program of the WCRP and the International Global Atmospheric Chemistry program. The biogeochemical exchange processes at sea ice interfaces, BEPC, focuses on the biogeochemistry of sea ice and how it impacts both the atmosphere and the underlying ocean. Whereas CATCH, the Cryosphere and Atmospheric Chemistry program, looks not only at sea ice, but on and how it impacts the atmosphere, but on all aspects of the cryosphere and its interactions with the atmosphere. So that includes snow, permafrost, glaciers, and ice clouds. SOLAS is also a co-sponsor of GONE, the Global Ocean Oxygen Network, which is an IOC expert group that studies ocean deoxygenation, its causes and impacts. In 2018, SOLAS issued a position statement on climate intervention, or geoengineering. It says, in essence, that in view of the increasing understanding of the extreme risk associated with global warming, large-scale technological industrial interventions in the climate are more and more likely to be considered seriously. Therefore, the scientific community has a responsibility to conduct research into geoengineering in order to evaluate these proposals and identify unintended consequences. In collaboration with the World Climate Research Program, SOLAS is working to develop a scientific body that will provide governance of geoengineering research and facilitate collaboration and also help guide input from the scientific community into geoengineering policy decisions. SOLAS is very excited about a new initiative to develop a global network of integrated atmosphere-ocean observatories. It's become increasingly clear that expeditionary research based on one-off cruises can provide intriguing insights into air-sea interactions, but actually refuting or proving the resulting hypotheses often requires long-term sustained measurements. However, most time series stations monitor only the ocean or the atmosphere. Very few try to measure both, much less monitor the interactions between them. The scientists running the few truly integrated atmosphere-ocean time series stations that exist have come to realize that they would benefit from working together and exchanging ideas and insights and experiences in order to develop and deploy new observations on their observatories. Since issuing a call for time series station endorsement, SOLAS has received and approved endorsement requests from 3 observatories around the North Atlantic, and we are looking forward to adding additional stations throughout the entire global ocean. The SOLAS Initiative on the intersection of inter-sea exchange science and societal needs continues to gain momentum. This year, a review article on developing multidisciplinary research in air-sea exchange interactions was published in the journal Coastal Management. Our initiative on ship plumes and their impacts on ocean biogeochemistry has matured, after having been first launched nearly 10 years ago. SOLAS currently has 3 endorsed projects underway and will be facilitating communication and collaboration between these projects. At next year's Science, Research and Innovation 2021 conference in Brisbane, Australia, SOLAS will be hosting a special session on the discontinuity between the current governance frameworks of the atmosphere and the ocean, which results in an inability to effectively govern human activities that impact air-sea interactions.
In addition to interdisciplinary research, SOLAS supports scientific exchange, community building, and career development. The SOLAS Summer School series is tailored to multi- and interdisciplinary students and early career marine and atmospheric scientists. To date, SOLAS has organized 7 international summer schools involving 500 international students. Typically, 4 applications are received for every available place. The next SOLAS Summer School will be held in June 2021 in Mindelo on Cape Verde at the Ocean Science Center Mindelo. This is the first time the school will be held in Africa. In 2021, the school will combine plenary and parallel sessions as well as practicals, including the research cruise. This time we will also have for the first time a session on diversity in science. SOLAS has organized a series of highly successful open science conferences that usually bring together about 200 scientists from all over the world. During our Open Science Conference, SOLAS scientists debate pressing science questions during discussion sessions, brainstorm about new initiatives during targeted workshops, and organize an Early Career Scientist Day. We are happy to announce that our next Open Science Conference is being planned for 25th to 30th September 2022 in Cape Town, South Africa. Other upcoming SOLAS events include a session at the IXMA Symposium in January. SOLAS will sponsor the International Symposium on Gas Transfer and Water Surfaces. We will have a couple of sessions at the Sustainability Science and Innovation Congress. Then there will be a GeoTrace SOLAS workshop on iron and DRC interface. There will be the BEPSI Winter School in Canada, and of course our Open Science Conference in 2022. Of course, there are multiple ways of how you can connect with the SOLAS. You can join our mailing list, you can follow us on Twitter, or you can follow the SOLAS project on ResearchGate. Thank you very much for your attention, and thanks a lot to SCORE for all the support. If you have any questions, please get in contact with us.